Parts of speech. Every word is a part of speech. The term part of speech refers to the role a word plays in a sentence. There are 8 parts of speech in the English language. They are noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. In this lesson, you will get an overview and understand parts of speech in brief. We will be covering each part of speech in detail in future lessons. Noun. A noun by definition is a word that refers to a thing: book, a person; anurag, an animal; dog, a place; Mumbai, a quality; softness, an idea; justice, or an action; singing. All that you can see, feel, or think is a noun. For example, you can see a car, a house, a bird, a bus. You can feel air, happiness, pain. You can think life, time, beauty, science. Pronoun. A word that is used in place of a noun is called a pronoun. The most common pronouns are personal pronouns, which refer to the person or people speaking or writing, the person or people being spoken to, or other people or things. For example, he, she, it, him, her, we, they, them, etc. He is planning to hide behind the door. She has many chocolates in her pocket. They are good at playing cricket. Adjective. An adjective adds meaning to a noun or pronoun. Adjectives are a major part of speech that not only make nouns and pronouns more interesting, but they also provide a lot more information when we use them in speech and writing. For example, they live in a beautiful house. She is an adorable child. This is the prettiest dress in the window. He is a fantastic human being. Verb. A verb is a word used to describe an action or state of a subject. Verbs are words that show an action, sing, occurrence, develop, or state of being, exist. For example, the dog ran across the yard. Action. She is a teacher in my school. State. Adverb. A word that adds meaning to a verb, adjective, or another adverb is called an adverb. A great way to spot adverbs is to look for words that end in ly. For example, they are happily married. He stopped by briefly to say hello. She talks loudly in the class. I thought the movie ended abruptly. Preposition. Prepositions tell us about the position of a subject in a sentence. A preposition can be defined as a word or group of words used before a noun, pronoun, or noun phrase to show direction, time, place, location, or to introduce an object. For example, she was hiding under the table. There is some milk in the fridge. He drove over the bridge. He eats lunch at noon. The sun is above the clouds. Conjunction. A word that joins two or more words, phrases, clauses, sentences is called a conjunction. Thanks to conjunctions, we don't have to write short, choppy sentences. We can extend our lines with simple words like and or but, and perhaps a comma or two. For example, Akash, word, and Krishna, word, are waiting for you. I met her near the supermarket, phrase, and at the theater, phrase. She always creates issues, clause, because she is a liar, clause. Your friend is always alert, sentence, but you never pay attention in class, sentence. Interjection. There's one part of speech that is radically different from a verb, noun, pronoun, adjective, and the rest. They don't help you understand relationships between words, nor do they have much of a grammatical purpose. They are called interjections. An interjection is a word or phrase that expresses something in a sudden or exclamatory way, especially in emotion. For example, hooray! Our team has won the match. Good grief! Why are you wearing shorts in the winter? Yippee! We are going on vacation. Bless you! I couldn't have done it without you. Noun. A noun by definition is a word that refers to a thing. Book, a person. Anurag, an animal. Dog, a place. Mumbai, a quality. Softness, an idea. Justice, or an action. Singing. All that you can see, feel, or think is the noun. For example, you can see a car, a house, a bird, a bus. You can feel air, happiness, pain. You can think life, time, beauty, science. Types of nouns. There are 5 types of nouns. Common noun. Proper noun. Collective noun. Material noun. Abstract noun. Common noun. A common noun is the generic name for a person, place, animal, or thing. A common noun is not capitalized unless it begins a sentence or appears in a title. For example, she was not born in this country. He has a house across the river. Mumbai is a big city. He has a dog named Brownie. Proper noun. A proper noun is the name of a particular person, place, animal, or thing. A proper noun always begins with a capital letter, no matter where it falls, in a sentence. For example, Varun is a wonderful player. He was born in India. My favorite cartoon character is Bart Simpson. Is your birthday in the month of June? Collective noun. A collective noun is a noun that represents a collection or group of individuals, places, things, etc. For example, a flock of sheep is grazing in the field. The hive of bees was working furiously to produce honey. She kept a bouquet of flowers on the table. He had a thick bundle of envelopes under his arm. Many collective nouns are common nouns, but they can also be proper nouns when they are the name of a company with more than one person. For example, Oracle. Material noun. Material noun refers to a material or substance from which things are made, such as gold, iron, cotton, plastic, milk, etc. For example, he wears a golden bracelet in his hand. The teak wood is obtained from the forest. The cement sack is placed outside the house. Woolen clothes are mostly used in the winter season. The most important thing about this noun is that it only indicates materials or substances, and not people, places, etc. Abstract noun. Abstract noun is a type of noun that you can't see, touch, or otherwise directly experience by any of the human senses. These nouns represent an aspect, concept, idea, experience, state of being, trait, quality or feeling that can't be experienced with the five senses. For example, I can't describe the state of elation I was in after being offered the promotion. I'm approaching the job interview with a sense of determination. There is great camaraderie among the team. That was quite a performance she put on. Pronoun. A word that is used in place of a noun is called a pronoun. The most common pronouns are personal pronouns, which refer to the person or people speaking or writing, the person or people being spoken to, or other people or things. For example, he is planning to hide behind the door. She has many chocolates in her pocket. They are good at playing cricket. Types of pronouns. There are 10 types of pronouns. Personal pronoun. Relative pronoun. Interrogative pronoun. Demonstrative pronoun. Distributive pronoun. Indefinite pronoun. Reflexive pronoun. Emphatic pronoun. Reciprocal pronoun. Exclamatory pronoun. Personal pronoun. A personal pronoun is a short word used to substitute the proper name of a person. Personal pronouns are used in place of the person or people we are talking about. For example, he, she, it, him, her, we, they, them, etc. They are completing their homework. We have done it successfully. She works as a software engineer for Google. Relative pronoun. A relative pronoun is a pronoun that introduces a relative clause. It is called a relative pronoun because it relates to the word that its relative clause modifies. There are 5 basic relative pronouns: who, whom, whose, which, that. Who refers to a person. Whom refers to a person. Which refers to an animal or thing. What refers to a non-living thing. That refers to a person, animal, or thing. Interrogative pronoun. An interrogative pronoun is a pronoun used to ask a question. Like most other pronouns, interrogative pronouns replace nouns in sentences. Usually, an interrogative pronoun is the first word in an interrogative sentence, which always ends in a question mark. For example, what do you want for dinner? Which color do you prefer? Who was driving the car? Whom did you speak to? Demonstrative pronoun. A demonstrative pronoun is used to point to something specific within a sentence. These pronouns can indicate items in space or time, and they can be singular or plural. Demonstrative pronouns can be used to refer to either people, animals, or objects. For example, this was my mother's ring. That looks like the car I used to drive. These are good times. Those were the days. Distributive pronoun. Pronouns that distribute the effect of the verb on more than one person or a thing, taken one at a time, are known as distributive pronouns. Consider the following sentences. Each boy was given a medal. Each is a distributive pronoun. Either road leads to the airport. Either is a distributive pronoun. Neither accusation is true. Neither is a distributive pronoun. More examples. Either of you can take this opportunity. The teacher talked personally to each of our parents. Each of the speakers was asked to introduce himself. Indefinite pronoun. Indefinite pronouns are used when you need to refer to a person or thing that doesn't need to be specifically identified. Some common indefinite pronouns are 1, other, none, some, anybody, everybody, and no one. For example, everyone was shocked by the sudden announcement. Something smells really good in the kitchen. Nobody knows about the issues I've faced. Can anyone help me? Reflexive pronoun. Reflexive pronouns are words like myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, and themselves. They refer back to a person or thing. We often use reflexive pronouns when the subject and the object of a verb are the same. For example, I taught myself to play the guitar. She loves to travel, herself. We thought to ourselves, this has been the best day ever. They are doing it themselves. Emphatic pronoun. Emphatic pronouns are nothing but reflexive pronouns, with a changed role. The only difference is that reflexive pronouns are used after a verb, whereas emphatic pronouns are used before a verb. These are also formed by adding self, singular, or selves, plural, at the end of certain personal pronouns. For example, she herself told us the news. They themselves saw it. The city itself does not receive much rainfall. Reciprocal pronoun. We use reciprocal pronouns, each other, and one another, when two or more people do the same thing. For example, if A is talking to B, and B is talking to A, we can say that A and B are talking to each other. There are only two reciprocal pronouns, as mentioned above. For example, Kapil and Priya love each other. The coaches spoke to one another about strategy. Exclamatory pronoun. Exclamatory pronouns belong to a class of pronouns that are used to express emotions. We use exclamatory pronouns to express enthusiasm, sadness, anger, surprise, or any intense emotion. In short, these are words that are used as exclamations in a sentence. For example, what? I don't believe that. How beautiful it is. What a clean house. Adjective. An adjective adds meaning to a noun or pronoun. Adjectives are a major part of speech that not only make nouns and pronouns more interesting, but they also provide a lot more information when we use them in speech and writing. For example, they live in a beautiful house. She is an adorable child. This is the prettiest dress in the window. He is a fantastic human being. Types of adjectives. There are 8 types of adjectives. Adjective of quantity. Adjective of quality. Adjective of number. Interrogative adjective. Demonstrative adjective. Possessive adjective. Exclamatory adjective. Emphatic adjective. Adjective of quantity. Adjective of quantity indicates the amount or estimated amount of the noun or pronoun in the sentence. This type of adjective helps us in describing nouns, especially when they do not require the exact number. Some common adjectives of quantity are little, few, some, any, all, whole, sufficient, etc. For example, he gave me some money. There is enough food in the kitchen. She has many students. Workers have completed most of their work. Adjective of quality. Adjective of quality is used to express the size, shape, and color of a person, place, animal, or thing, in a sentence. They are also known as descriptive adjectives, or attributive adjectives. Their function is to add detail, or description, about a noun. For example, my grandfather has a black dog. A square-shaped kite is flying in the air. Kiara is a beautiful girl. Adjective of number. Adjective of number is used to depict either the number of nouns, or their position, or place, in a certain order. An adjective of number tells us exactly how many, or how much of something, there is. It differs from an adjective of quantity, that references a quantity of something, that cannot be counted, some milk, some lemonade. For example, there are 10 students in the classroom. You can get 24 hours service here. There is 1 piece of pizza left. Third place goes to Pooja. Interrogative adjective. An interrogative adjective is an adjective that modifies a noun or pronoun in order to ask a question. There are only 3 interrogative adjectives: what, which, whose. For example, what town did they move to? What modifies the noun town. It is used to ask where the location of the town is. Which movie do you want to see? Which modifies the noun movie. It is used to ask which movie the person wants to see. Whose lunch is this? Whose modifies the noun lunch. It is used to ask who the lunch belongs to. When used in questions, the interrogative words why, when, where, and how are adverbs, and not adjectives. Demonstrative adjective. A demonstrative adjective is used to specifically describe the position of something, or someone, in space or time. Most commonly used demonstrative adjectives are this, that, these, and those. This, that, these, and those are also demonstrative pronouns. The difference between demonstrative adjectives and demonstrative pronouns depends on how you use them. Demonstrative adjectives come before the noun they describe, while demonstrative pronouns replace the nouns they represent. For example, demonstrative adjective, do you want to see this movie? Demonstrative pronoun, do you want to see this? Demonstrative adjective, these chips are too spicy for me. Demonstrative pronoun, these are too spicy for me. Possessive adjective. A possessive adjective modifies a noun by identifying who has ownership or possession of it. In other words, a possessive adjective sits before a noun or a pronoun to show who or what owns it. The most commonly used possessive adjectives are my, your, his, her, its, our, their, and whose. For example, I'm looking after her dog. She likes your hat. We went to my house. The lions hunted their prey. Exclamatory adjective. Exclamatory adjectives are used with nouns to indicate strong emotions. Sentences using exclamatory adjectives always end with an exclamation mark. The two most common exclamatory adjectives are what and how. For example, what a genius! What a beautiful dress! How curious they are! Emphatic adjective. When a word is used to emphasize or lay emphasis on a noun, it is called an emphatic adjective. For example, the very idea of living on the moon is highly impractical. She is the only girl who helped me. One's own deeds decide one's future. The queen herself cooked food for the king. In the above examples, the highlighted words, very, only, own, and herself, emphasize the nouns, idea, girl, one's deeds, and queen respectively. These are emphatic adjectives. Verb. A verb is a word used to describe an action or state of a subject. Verbs are words that show an action, sing, occurrence, develop, or state of being, exist. For example, the dog ran across the yard. Action. She is a teacher in my school. State. Types of verbs. There are 8 types of verbs. Action verbs. Transitive verbs. Intransitive verbs. Auxiliary verbs. Stative verbs. Modal verbs. Phrasal verbs. Irregular verbs. Action verbs. An action verb tells what the subject of our sentence is doing. Action verbs can be used to express physical or mental actions, like run, dance, jump, think, do, smile, listen, etc. Action verbs are of two types: physical action verb and mental action verb. For example, I ride my bicycle to school. That idea sounds good. She thinks about poetry all day long. He loves to dance with his friends. Transitive verbs. A transitive verb is one that is used with an object, a noun, phrase, or pronoun, that refers to the person or thing that is affected by the action of the verb. A transitive verb only makes sense if it exerts its action on an object. For example, Sanjay sent a postcard from London. Send is the action, postcard is the object. Akansha washed the dishes after dinner. Washed is the action, dishes is the object. My dog ate carrots off the floor. Ate is the action, carrots is the object. In each of the examples, the subject performs an action, and there is an object that receives the action. Intransitive verbs. An intransitive verb is a verb that does not take a direct object. This means that there is no word in the sentence that tells who or what received the action of the verb. An intransitive verb is the opposite of a transitive verb. It does not require an object to act upon. For example, the car appeared. My store opened. Her phone rang. The girls sang beautifully. Auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs are used to help express the main verb's tense, mood, or voice. They are also called helping verbs, as they help the main verb which comes after them. The most common auxiliary verbs are be, have, and do. For example, she is reading a magazine. They have done the work. Do you want a coffee? Auxiliary verbs never occur alone in a sentence. They always occur with a main verb. Stative verbs. Stative verbs describe a state rather than an action. They usually relate to thoughts, emotions, relationships, senses, states of being, and measurements. For example, our client appreciated all the work we did for him. Rahul feels good today. The kids love ice cream. I don't understand what you mean. For the most part, We use stative verbs to express abstract concepts. Modal verbs. A modal verb is a type of auxiliary, helping verb that is used to express ability, possibility, permission, or obligation. They are used together with the main verb of the sentence. Common examples include can, should, and must. For example, I can swim every Tuesday. My baby brother should be asleep by now. Her parents must be so proud. May I leave early today? Modal verbs always come directly before the main verb, as shown in the examples above. Phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs, also called multi-word verbs, are a group of words that combine a verb with an adverb or a preposition. These verbs are very common, and some popular examples include get out, come down, give away, and put up with. For example, their car broke down 2 kilometers out of town. We left out the trash for pickup. Stand up when speaking in class, please. Take off your shoes before you walk on the carpet. Irregular verbs. Most verbs have a past tense and past participle with ed, worked, played, listened. Irregular verbs don't take on the regular ed, or ied of the past tense or past participle. Many of the most frequently used verbs are irregular. Begin is the base form, began, is the past tense, begun, is the past participle. Draw is the base form, drew, is the past tense, drawn, is the past participle. See is the base form, saw, is the past tense, seen, is the past participle. For example, I want to build a sand castle like the one we built last year. Let's drink some of this tea. I drank some yesterday as well. Adverb. A word that adds meaning to a verb, adjective, or another adverb is called an adverb. A great way to spot adverbs is to look for words that end in ly. For example, they are happily married. He stopped by briefly to say hello. She talks loudly in the class. I thought the movie ended abruptly. Types of adverbs. There are 9 types of adverbs. Adverb of place. Adverb of time. Adverb of frequency. Adverb of manner. Adverb of reason. Adverb of degree. Adverb of duration. Adverb of assertion, or negation. Relative adverb. Adverb of place. Adverbs of place tell us where something happens. An adverb of place always talks about the location where the action of the verb is being carried out. These adverbs always answer one important question: where? For example, park the scooter there. After a long day at the office, we headed homewards. My grandfather's house is nearby. Adverbs of place are also sometimes called spatial adverbs. Adverb of time. An adverb of time describes when the action of a verb is carried out. Adverbs of time change or add meaning to a sentence by telling us when, for how long, and how often a certain action happened. For example, I'm going to tidy my room tomorrow. They go out to dinner weekly. I'd like to go to the movies later. An adverb that answers the question, when, is also called a temporal adverb. Adverb of frequency. An adverb of frequency describes how often an action happens. Adverbs of frequency always describe how often something occurs, either in definite or indefinite terms. Examples of an adverb that describes definite frequency are weekly, daily, or yearly. Examples of an adverb describing indefinite frequency don't specify an exact time frame, such as sometimes, often, and rarely. For example, they take a vacation at least once, annually. Definite frequency. The hotel manager checks the rooms every hour. Definite frequency. She always goes out on Saturday evenings. Indefinite frequency. He is often late to work. Indefinite frequency. Adverb of manner. Adverbs of manner describe how something happens. Most adverbs of manner are formed by adding ly to adjectives, but there are some exceptions, such as well, hard, fast. Adverbs of manner most often appear after a verb, or at the end of a verb phrase. For example, walk quickly, or you might miss the bus. Reading carefully helps you to understand concepts better. He gave us the money generously. Arjun coughed loudly to attract her attention. Adverb of reason. Adverbs of reason help to describe why something happened. They express the reason or a purpose of an action. Adverbs of reason are also sometimes referred to as adverbs of purpose. For example, it was raining heavily, therefore, we stayed in the house. Since it is hot, I'm getting uncomfortable. There was traffic on our route, hence, we took a detour. You should work in the kitchen, so that you can learn to cook. Adverb of degree. Adverbs of degree help us to express how much, or to what extent, we do something. An adverb of degree modifies a sentence to tell us the degree or intensity of something. Adverbs of degree allow you to be very specific when writing, no matter what the purpose. For example, the soup was extremely hot. This pizza is absolutely wonderful. Our driveway is completely frozen. The temperature was barely above freezing. Adverb of duration. Adverbs of duration tell us how long something happened. They show us the length of the action or state. We use adverbs of duration to say that an event or situation is continuing, stopping, or is not happening at the moment. For example, I will be forever grateful. She still resides in Mumbai. It has been raining since morning. We didn't stay long at the meeting. Adverb of assertion or negation. An adverb of assertion or negation shows affirmation or negation, certainty or uncertainty of an action or a thing. A sentence with adverb of affirmation. I will definitely do that project. A sentence with adverb of negation. I will never do that project. For example, he will surely give you money. Adverb of assertion. Raj clearly states his concern. Adverb of assertion. Deepika scarcely does her house duties. Adverb of negation. He no longer takes interest in his work. Adverb of negation. Relative adverb. Relative adverbs help to answer questions like when, where, or why. These adverbs can be used to join sentences or clauses. For example, I remember the day when we first met. I know the town where you live. I have no idea why he called. Relative adverbs are words that provide more information about people, places, or things. Preposition. Prepositions tell us about the position of a subject in a sentence. A preposition can be defined as a word or group of words used before a noun, pronoun, or noun phrase to show direction, time, place, location, or to introduce an object. For example, she was hiding under the table. There is some milk in the fridge. He drove over the bridge. He eats lunch at noon. The sun is above the clouds. Types of prepositions. There are three main types of prepositions. Prepositions of time. Prepositions of place. Prepositions of movement. Prepositions of time. Prepositions of time are used to help indicate when something happened, happens, or will happen. Basic examples of time prepositions include at, on, in, before, and after. For example, I work faster at night. He bought me a present on my birthday. We eat breakfast in the morning. We will not leave for home before 3 p.m. She will be here after midnight. Prepositions of place. The most common prepositions to indicate time, on, at, in, are also the most common prepositions to indicate position. The rules are a little clearer with place prepositions, as they have a more rigid concept than time prepositions. On is used when referring to something with a surface. The sculpture hangs on the wall. In is used when referring to something that is inside or within confined boundaries. The girls play in the garden. At is used when referring to something at a specific point. We will meet at the airport. Prepositions of movement. Prepositions of movement describe how something, or someone, moves from one place to another. They are easier to understand, as they are less abstract than prepositions of place and time. The most commonly used prepositions of movement are to, through, across, off, down, and into. For example, he has gone on vacation to Venice. The train passes through the tunnel. He traveled across India on his motorcycle. They stare into the darkness. Rules of prepositions. Rule number 1: prepositions must have an object. Rule number 2: the term preposition implies placing before. Rule number 3: a pronoun used after a preposition must be in the object form. Rule number 4: preposition forms. Rule number 5: the preposition to should not be confused with the infinitive to. Rule number 6: a verb cannot be an object of the preposition. Rule number 1. Rule number 1: prepositions must have an object. A preposition must have an object. If a preposition does not have an object, it is not a preposition, it's probably an adverb. For example, they are in the kitchen. Preposition is in, object is the kitchen. They will catch up after the movie. Preposition is after, object is the movie. Rule number 2. Rule number 2. The term preposition implies placing before. We know that a preposition precedes a noun or a pronoun. The term preposition refers to the fact that a preposition occurs before its object. However, do remember that this is not always the case. For example, I put it in the box. Preposition is in, object is the box, in is placed before the box. I met her at the bus stop. Preposition is at, object is the bus stop, at is placed before the bus stop. Who did you talk to? Preposition is to, object is who, to is placed after who. Rule number 3. Rule number 3. A pronoun used after a preposition must be in the object form. Prepositional objects are usually nouns or pronouns that come after the preposition. If it is a pronoun, it must be in the objective form. Me, her, them, instead of being in the subjective form. I, she, they. For example, this is a gift from my fiancé and me. Preposition is from, me is pronoun in objective form. This is between him and her. Preposition is between him and her are pronouns in objective form. Sheila decided to give it to them. Preposition is to, them is pronoun in objective form. Rule number 4. Rule number 4. Preposition forms. Prepositions have no particular form. The majority of prepositions are one-word prepositions, but some are 2- or 3-word phrases, known as complex prepositions. One-word prepositions: before, into, on. Complex prepositions: according to, but for, in spite of, on account of. Rule number 5. Rule number 5. The preposition to should not be confused with the infinitive to. To is often used as a preposition. For instance, to me, to Mumbai, and also as an infinitive participle. To sleep, to drink, to dance, etc. To as a preposition. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I am used to driving in traffic. To as an infinitive participle. They used to live in New York. They love to sing carols. Rule number 6. Rule number 6. A verb cannot be an object of the preposition. The golden rule is that a preposition is followed by a noun. It is never followed by a verb. This rule has no exceptions. For example, the food is on the table. Preposition is on, noun is the table. She lives in Indonesia. Preposition is in. Proper noun is Indonesia. Jackie is looking for you. Preposition is for. Pronoun is you. Conjunction. A word that joins two or more words, phrases, clauses, sentences is called a conjunction. Thanks to conjunctions, we don't have to write short, choppy sentences. We can extend our lines with simple words like and or but, and perhaps a comma or two. For example, Akash, word, and Krishna, word, are waiting for you. I met her near the supermarket, phrase, and at the theater, phrase. She always creates issues, clause, because she is a liar, clause. Your friend is always alert, sentence, but you never pay attention in class, sentence. Types of conjunctions. There are 3 types of conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions. Correlative conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions. A coordinating conjunction is a conjunction that connects words, phrases, and clauses that are coordinate or equal to each other. There are 7 coordinating conjunctions: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. The best way to remember the 7 coordinating conjunctions is by using the acronym FANBOYS. For example, the children ran and jumped all over the playground. Would you like cereal or toast for breakfast? The pepper is spicy, yet sweet. My sister likes the winter, but I prefer the summer. Subordinating conjunctions. A subordinating conjunction is a word or phrase that links a dependent clause to an independent clause. A dependent clause is a clause that cannot stand alone as a complete sentence because it does not express a complete thought. An independent clause is a clause that can stand alone as a sentence. A subordinate conjunction performs 2 functions within a sentence. First, it illustrates the importance of the independent clause. Second, it provides a transition between 2 ideas in the same sentence. The transition always indicates a place, time, or cause and effect relationship. For example, after the basement flooded, we spent all day cleaning up. He was annoyed because the train had stopped. As soon as the alarm goes off, I hit the snooze button. You will never know unless you ask her. Although it was raining, I ran home. Correlative conjunctions. Correlative conjunctions are pairs of words that correlate 2 equally important clauses or phrases in one complete thought. They work in pairs to join words, phrases, or clauses, and you have to use both of them, in different places in a sentence, to make them work. For example, my uncle is not only a doctor, but also a pharmacist. My brother is either working upstairs or doing the dishes downstairs. I'm not only hungry, but also tired. I would rather have coffee than tea. List of conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Some subordinating conjunctions. After, although, as if, as long as much as soon as though, because, before, by the time, even if, even though, if, in order that, in case, in the event that, lest, now that, once, only if, provided that, since, so, supposing, that, then, though, till, unless, until, when, whenever, where, whereas, wherever, whether or not, while. Correlative conjunctions. Both, and, either, or, neither, nor, not only, but, whether, or. Interjection. There's one part of speech that is radically different from a verb, noun, pronoun, adjective, and the rest. They don't help you understand relationships between words, nor do they have much of a grammatical purpose. They are called interjections. An interjection is a word or phrase that expresses something in a sudden or exclamatory way, especially in emotion. For example, hooray! Our team has won the match. Good grief! Why are you wearing shorts in the winter? Yippee! We are going on vacation. Bless you! I couldn't have done it without you. Types of interjections. There are mainly two types of interjections. Primary interjections and secondary interjections. Primary interjections. Primary interjections are individual words and sounds that are used only as interjections. These interjections have no other meaning or use, and some of them are oops, woohoo, ow, ouch, and yum. For example, oops, I spilled all the milk. Let me think about it. Woohoo! That's great news. Let's celebrate. Secondary interjections. Secondary interjections are words or phrases that already belong to other parts of speech, such as bless you, congratulations, good grief, hey, oh my god, oh well, etc. These expressions are often exclamatory and tend to mix with oaths, swear words, and greetings. For example, holy cow, you're the last person I expected. Goodness, how did you go through all these articles in a single day? Well done. You've actually achieved what you set out to do. Punctuation. The intensity of a remark, or emotion, is key in choosing appropriate punctuations for interjections. For mild intensity, we can use a comma and a full stop. To express stronger emotions, we use an exclamation mark. For example, well, it's already too late. Please try again next time. Comma is used. Gosh, it's already too late. I won't have another chance to win. Exclamation is used. Key points. An interjection is a part of speech that conveys emotions such as excitement, dismay, surprise, and enthusiasm. Interjections generally do not add grammatical value to the sentence. Primary interjections are individual words or sounds that do not have any other meaning. They are used only as interjections. Secondary interjections are words or phrases that are originally derived from other words, belonging to other parts of speech. For mild remarks, we use a comma and a full stop. For stronger emotions, we use an exclamation mark. In writing, avoid using interjections, especially in a formal or business setting.